It's the weekend before Black Friday, and if you're looking to book a celebrity cruise, especially one over a year out, this might be the weekend to do it. We'll tell you that and more on this week's Cruise Deals coming up. Welcome to the Value Cruiser. My name is Casey. My wife Brittany and I enjoy finding cruise deals for you every week and every day in YouTube Shorts and other social media posts. This week is the Friday before Black Friday, and we wanted to share some of the deals of the week that we found for you. And here's a quick overview of these deals of the week before we get into the details of them. Anywhere spanning from the end of this year all the way until 2028. We have handpicked these deals for you. Let's get started with the first one. We're going to start off our deals with the Holland America Eurodam. This is going to be a round trip sailing from Fort Lauderdale from January 4th through January 11th, 2026. You'll be sailing from $499 per person for an interior room, which is a good price for Holland America. Let's look at the itinerary. You will start in Fort Lauderdale and then go to Nassau on day 2. You'll have a day at sea before you go to Grand Turk and then Amber Cove before another sea day before coming to Half Moon Cay before you round out your trip in Fort Lauderdale. A 6-night cruise for less than $250 is always a good deal. This is a Carnival cruise. It is a 6-day Mexican Riviera cruise from Los Angeles. $235 per person for an interior room on the Carnival Firenze. Sailing from Los Angeles, you're going to have an overnight in Cabo San Lucas and come right back to LA. Sailing Monday, February 23rd through Sunday, March 1st of 2026. So that is your itinerary. Long Beach, you have a day at sea, an overnight in Cabo, and then a day at sea before you go to Ensenada, Mexico, and returning to LA. This is the first time that we have featured Margaritaville at Sea on the channel. They have a good deal around this Black Friday time. It's going to be on their Margaritaville at Sea Paradise for a 4-night Key West and Grand Bahama cruise sailing February 23rd through February 27th of 2026. You're going to sail round trip out of the port of Palm Beach in Florida, and then you'll visit Key West in Florida and Freeport, Grand Bahama on this 4-night sailing. Currently, prices are just over $209 per person for 2 people in an interior room, which makes the total just under $419. Here's the first of many deals that we're going to have from Celebrity this week. This first one is a Greece cruise. It is a 10-night cruise round trip from Athens on the Celebrity Infinity. Sailing February 27th, 2026, you can get an interior room for $710 per person. A lot of times these cruises are well over $1,000 per person, especially for the 10-night cruise. You will start in Athens, and as you see, you'll have a stop in Nafpilo, Greece, and then you're going to stop in Crete, Rhodes, and then a day at sea before Kavala, Thessaloniki, Ephesus, and back to Athens for a day on the ship before you have to debark the following day. Very nice cruise to Greece. Our next Celebrity cruise is going to be in the Caribbean. This is going to be a Key West and Bahamas cruise, a 5-nighter out of Fort Lauderdale on the Celebrity Summit. $319 per person. You'll be going to Key West and Nassau on this 5-night journey. Good price overall, sailing March 2nd, 2026. Norwegian's only entry this week, and the only one we really thought was a good deal, is going to be this 10-day Caribbean round trip from Tampa. It includes Curacao, Aruba, and the Dominican Republic. It is going to be $829 per person from March 2nd through March 12th of 2026. And you can get an ocean view for just under $1,000, which would still be less than $100 per person per day on this 10-day voyage. Your itinerary is going to include a round-trip voyage from Tampa again, 2 sea days. You'll go to Cabo Rojo, Dominican Republic, and then you'll go to Aruba, Curacao, Falmouth, Jamaica, and Grand Cayman. Virgin Voyages makes the list this week with their Dominican Days cruise on their Scarlet Lady, a 5-night round-trip cruise from Miami, April 10th through 15th of 2026. You'll go to the Beach Club at Bimini and Puerto Plata on this cruise, starting at Puerto Plata after a sea day, and then you'll have another sea day before you go to the Beach Club at Bimini. Generous time frames there for both destinations as well. If you're sailing with 2 people in a cabin, your cheapest cabin is going to be from $990 per cabin or $495 per person. Remember, that does include all dining, Wi-Fi, soda, and other goodies in that cruise fare, which makes this a good value. Grab this cruise from Galveston for under $500 while you can. It is on one of Royal Caribbean's mega ships, Allure of the Seas. This is a Western Caribbean cruise. It's a 7-nighter, and currently it's $495 per person for an interior room. And that's a really good deal. You can even get a balcony for under $600, which is an excellent deal for a 7-night cruise. Sailing out of Galveston especially. You're going to have 2 days at sea after you leave from Galveston. You'll go to Roatan, Honduras, Costa Maya, and Cozumel, Mexico on this 7-night voyage. Sailing April 12th, 2026, so on the tail end of the spring break time frame as well. A good time to go cruising and a great price on a good ship. From the spring of 2026 to the fall of 2026, and from the Western Caribbean to the Southern Caribbean. Check out this Adventure of the Seas itinerary. It's an 8-night itinerary from Orlando, Port Canaveral, Florida. Includes Southern Caribbean and Perfect Day. Costs a little bit more to get to the Southern Caribbean usually. This is a good deal for a Southern Caribbean cruise. $792 per person. Sailing September 4th, 2026. You'll start in Orlando, go to Perfect Day on day 2 before your day at sea in Cabo Rojo, Dominican Republic, and then you'll go to Aruba and Curacao before your 2 days at sea before you come back to Orlando. Here's an entry from Princess in this week's deals. Sailing December 7th through December 13th of 2026 on the Sky Princess. An interior room is from $480. This is a 6-night Eastern Caribbean with the Turks and the Caicos. So let's see what the itinerary entails. You're going to do a round-trip voyage from Port Canaveral, Florida. You're going to stop in Celebration Key before an at-sea day, and then you go to Amber Cove and Grand Turk before you have a sea day coming back to Port Canaveral. $480 per person. So here's a transatlantic from Celebrity that is a really good deal, especially considering it is a 6-night one. You're going to sail from Rome to Tampa on the Celebrity Constellation. 16-night cruise includes Spain and Morocco for $830 per person for an interior room. You can get an ocean view for just over $1,000 and a balcony for a little under $1,200, which is a great deal for a 16-night cruise. This is going to be sailing October 29th of 2027, so plenty of time to plan this one out. You'll start in Rome, you'll have a day at sea before you go to Alicante, Malaga, and Gibraltar, and then you'll stop in Casablanca before 10 days at sea coming to Tampa. 10 relaxing days at sea. $830 a person. Be a nice cruise at a great price if you want to get away for over 2 weeks. Here's another Celebrity cruise in the fall of 2027. This one's a Southern Caribbean, including Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, all of the ABC islands. This is on the Celebrity Reflection. It's going to be sailing October 30th of 2027. And this 9-night voyage will be $830 per person for an interior room. You can get an ocean view for $100 more and a balcony for a little less than $200 more per person. All good deals, especially for a Southern Caribbean cruise on Celebrity. Your itinerary is going to be round trip from Fort Lauderdale. You'll have a day at sea before you stop at Grand Turk, and then you'll have another day at sea, and you'll go to the ABC Islands in the CAB order: Curacao, Aruba, and Bonaire before your 2 days at sea, coming back to Fort Lauderdale. And the last 4 cruises are going to be all on the same ship. The next 3 are going to be very similar itineraries, so you kind of pick the one that you want, honestly. This is the Celebrity Summit, sailing round trip out of San Juan, Puerto Rico on a Southern Caribbean itinerary, sailing November 28th of 2027. Your interior room starts from $507 per person. You can get an ocean view for $50 more. You'll sail round trip from San Juan. You'll go to St. Thomas, St. Kitts, Antigua, St. Lucia, and Grenada on this sailing. Let's move to the second one. And the second one is December 5th of 2027. Slightly different itinerary. $509 per person for an interior room. Your ocean view room, again, is $50 more. This itinerary, round trip from San Juan, gonna go to Dominica, Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua, and St. Thomas. And the final one of these 3 is the December 12th sailing. It is $508 per person, and you can get an ocean view for $50 more. This itinerary, round trip from San Juan, will go to St. Vincent, Barbados, Martinique, Antigua, and St. Thomas. And if you want to plan your cruise really far out and get a really good deal, here is the final one for the week. This is, again, a Celebrity Summit cruise, but this one is going to Grand Cayman and Mexico, March 28th of 2028. Again, a 7-night cruise under $500 is generally a really good deal. And this is what this is. It's round trip from Fort Lauderdale. You'll have a day at sea before you go to Grand Cayman, before another day at sea, and you'll go to Cozumel and Costa Maya before you return. $488 per person, and you can get an ocean view for $538. And these are the deals of the week for the weekend before Black Friday of 2025. Tell us which one you want to take, which itinerary looks good for you, and which cruise line you like best. If you like Celebrity, this is a really good weekend to book with them. Thank you very much for watching Value Cruiser, and we'll see you on the next deal.